Hi there. This is Chris Totten from Pie for Breakfast Studios, and I am going to share a stream here of my upcoming Game Boy game, Kudzu. And I'm going to continue because I have a file set up for this. So Kudzu is a action adventure game, kind of like Zelda Link's Awakening. Where you are a gardener named Max and you're trying to find your mentor, another gardener, who has been lost in this field of a giant invasive plant. So as you can see, the plant can grow, and that can be an obstacle because it blocks pathways, but it can also be useful to help solve puzzles, and that's kind of what the game is all about, is kind of the different sides of this actual real-life invasive plant. I first became aware of this plant, Kudzu, when I was in architecture school, and I had a design class where we had to build scholars' retreats on a new piece of land that my university had acquired. And so a bunch of us kids from the northern United States, where there's not as much kudzu, saw this giant field of what we thought was ivy, and we all thought it was really cool, and we made our projects all about it. I had like a porch that extended into it. Classmates of mine made like mazes out of it. So we all incorporated into our project. I was the first to go on presentation day. I'm going to have my little character take a nap here to restore health. On presentation day, the assistant dean actually, after I gave my presentation, he says, Chris, that's not ivy. That's a invasive plant called kudzu. And what it does is a creeping vine that covers other plants and chokes out their access to like oxygen and sunlight. So because you made your design about this, let me ask you, is murder important to you? And I was like, that's a really terrifying question. And I just like went white as a sheet, and so did everybody else in my group because we had all made our designs about this. My design teacher stepped in and said, we didn't know what that was. So can we just proceed on like it's not kudzu? Because everybody in the studio made their project about it. So the assistant dean reluctantly agreed. But I'm telling my wife this story years later because this story became known as like my worst presentation ever. And she was like, my brother Max fought off plants like that in our backyard when we were kids because she grew up in the South. And so it was like, what if we made a game where Max fought kudzu? And then that was the inspiration. Once I got the GB Studio engine, where I can make Game Boy games. So this is a game that's actually running on a Game Boy emulator right now. But once we got access to GB Studio, it was like, hey, let's make Kudzu. This seems like it's finally the place where we can make this game, and it would be a really good Game Boy game. So Kudzu, very much structured like Zelda or Metroid, and you can kind of wander this giant kudzu field that, there's like little sub areas. This is the kudzu field itself. There's also a garden. There's a forest that's been covered in kudzu. And there's an estate and a mountain that's been covered in kudzu. So you have to search these areas and try to find the source of the kudzu menace. And along with that, you uncover a mystery that's several hundred years old about, just what is the real nature of the kudzu. You might be getting some slowdown, by the way. That's less to do with the game, more to do with OBS. purposefully take some damage to show off the health system. So if I'm down on damage and you just saw the little damage indicator pop above Max's head, I can pause and use this potion system, which uses Kudzu jelly to recharge my health. And I designed that because I thought it was a nice risk reward. Like, do you conserve your Kudzu jelly or do you use it right away? So what I'm trying to do right now in the dungeon, instead of boss keys, because I didn't want to use a key system, I wanted to use some like other stuff that you don't see as often. You have to destroy Kudzu roots that are sticking out of the ground, because those roots are covering, they're part of a giant Kudzu plant that's covering the boss door. So here's the last one. Then we're going to go back. I'm going to get this. Mushrooms are the game's currency. We did that because my brother-in-law, who the main character is based on, collects mushrooms. A lot of the characters in this game are based on people we know or our pets. Our cats are in the game. There's a side quest where you can make them pen pals with my in-laws' cats. Uh-oh. Oh no! Giant boss creature. You may also be hearing a message app going off. That is work. I apologize for that. So as you can see, this game kind of hints that like maybe this isn't just a plant. Maybe something is up. Maybe things are more than they seem. And you're going to see a little bit of that here. And so this area gives you a little preview of areas to come. Like I said, there's a haunted estate, there's a creepy mountain, there's a creepy forest. This game has lots of stuff to it, but I have 10 minutes, so I'm not going to show everything. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this has piqued your interest a little bit, and have a great rest of your day.